Let's go ahead and go over our practice problems for multiplying integers. All right, so the first one, a -8 times a +9. It's one negative and one positive. So one negative is an odd number, so that tells me my answer is definitely going to be negative. And then 8 times 9 is 72. So negative 72 is what you should have there. Okay, let's look at number 2. I see a negative times a negative, so that tells me that my answer is going to be positive. And I don't have to put anything in front of that because we know that if there's just nothing in front of it, it's positive, just like this 9 here is positive. 12 times 5 is 60, so our answer is just a positive 60. Okay, let's look at number 3. Remember on this one, when we have parentheses around a number and it's touching something else, it means it's multiplying. So -1 times -3 times a +5. How many negatives do we have here? I see 2 negatives. 2 negatives means it's going to be positive because 2 is an even number, so I don't need to put a negative down here. 1 times 3 is 3, and then 3 times 5 is 15. So the answer is 15, positive 15. Let's look at number 4. How many negatives do we see? 1, 2, 3. I see 3 negatives, so my answer has to be negative because 3 is an odd number of negatives. And let's go ahead and answer this. 7 times 2 is 14, and then 14 times 3 is 42. So negative 42 is what we're going to get there. Let's look at number 5. So number 5, we've got a negative times a positive times a negative. Remember, the dot between means multiplication. I see 2 negatives. 2 negatives is an even number of negatives, which means it's positive. So 9 times 3 is 27, and then we're going to bring down that -2 there. So 27 times 2 is 54. So we have a positive 54 as our answer. Let's look at number 6. -1 times -1 times -1. No. All right, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negatives. Well, 6 is an even number of negatives, so that means it's going to be a positive answer. And 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. So our answer is just a positive 1. Let's look at number 7, though. Again, -1s we're multiplying, but we're going to do it 1,081 times. The 1 in the 1,081 is odd, which tells me that this whole number is going to be odd because the ones place digit, which is a 1, is odd. So it has to be negative because it's an odd number of negatives up here. And these 3 dots right here tell you that in between these two numbers are lots and lots, 1,081 of these -1s. Just keep on going. What they do is they put these dots in here to show you that they just don't have enough room to write all of these. So just remember that this is how many should be there. And 1 times 1 times 1, 1,081 times is still just 1, so -1. Number 8, you've got -2 multiplied 8 times. Well, 8 is an even number, so I know my answer has to be positive. And let's do 2 8 times. So 2 times 2 is 4, right? Times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. Let's do another 2. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 2s. That's 16. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 16 times 2, that's the 5th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2s. 16 times 2 is 32. Everyone with me, I hope. Let's do 32 times 2. And what do we get? So let's make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're on the 6th one. 32 times 2 is 64. 64 times 2, what does that give us? So that gives us 128, right? And I'm doing this in my head real fast, so that's okay if you need to pause and catch up. And then the last one, right? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have to do it 8 times, so times 8, times another 2. That's our 8th 2. So let's do this one. 8 times 2 is 16. Put a 6, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 2 times 1 is 2. So our answer is a positive 256 because we did it 8 times, which means it's positive. That's an even number of negatives. Okay, don't forget to do your reflection, and there's more practice to do after this.